that had been ruling from became too small to accommodate the number of courtiers that were coming now. So they decided to shift to some place which was much bigger. The 10 years that it took for the fort to build, that was the 10 years it was given to the city also to build around it. All the nobles and the princes were given a space to make their havelis and their palaces there.
Till the late 19th century, River Yamuna flew right behind the fort's rear walls. Today, Ring Road and large patch of green populates what was once the steady course of capital's river.
Built at the cost of 60 lakhs in those days, this fort is often built to represent not just the socio-political zenith of the Mughal Empire, but also a cross-cultural influence. Its architectural style, the design of its gardens and several palaces within bears an imprint of not just Timurid Persian style, but also European and an indigenous Indian one.
Like all Mughal architecture, it has Indian elements. It has those little chhatris that you see at the corners of the pavilions. It has, even the carving is an amalgam of different, sort of Indian and Persian styles. It also, interestingly, has a strong European flavor, and that European flavor, it started right from Shah Jahan's time.
The style chosen for this fort is often termed as Shah Jahani, a unique mix of imperial expression, rich design, texture and colors. The Red Fort in more than one way is a representation of skills of the workmen and masons across the country.
The Red Fort actually signifies a sort of a high point of Mughal architecture. That's, Shah Jahan is the high point of Mughal architecture. But more than that, what was achieved under Shah Jahan in a sort of aesthetic point of view is a formalism in Indian art also. There's a formalism. If you see the pictures of the darbars of Shah Jahan, you see the symmetry that is there. All the courtiers are arranged in a sort of a symmetry. And that symmetry was there even in the Red Fort, if you see. There's in one line you go from the emperor's palace to the throne to the Diwan-e-Aam where he has his main court to the main bazaar which leads out of the palace right into the city and the main road of the city also.
The imposing three-sectioned wall forms the perimeter of this red sandstone structure, which is irregular octagonal in design. On the top of its wall lay heavy cross-worked ramparts, visible even from a sizable distance.
It's called a fort and you can see those ramparts and those Kangura battlements on top and all that. It's not a great defensive structure. If you compare it with forts like, even in Delhi, like Tughlaqabad and Purana Kila, no, it's not that imposing. It was never probably meant to sort of keep out serious invaders. It was a sort of a encircling wall for the palace complex.
Chatta Chowk, or a covered bazaar, a vaulted arcade housing double-storied shops to add to the slice of history of the Red Fort. It was here the royal residents came out, shopped and hung out with their companions.
Chatta Bazaar that we called was modelled on a covered market that Shah Jahan had seen in Kabul. Chatta Bazaar was used by the princes and the princesses, and the things that were used in the Qila, those were the kind of materials and articles that were brought and kept by merchants in those shops and sold to the royal prince and princesses.
Straight after Chatta Chowk, we reach Naubat Khana or Nakar Khana, an entrance to Diwan-e-Aam separating